Hey, I'm Allison Crow, and I'm here to welcome you to my YouTube channel with this little visual video to let you know what you're getting into and what you can expect. I am a life and business coach, and everything I want to do throughout all my years of coaching is help you develop your inner sense and strength of self trust and confident authenticity so that you can create in your life, in your work, in your relationships, in your health, so that you can create something from the inside out that feels aligned and true with you. And these days, I am focusing on the midlife journey because it is a midlife unraveling for many of us. It is a difficult, often season, but that it does bear so much fruit and is such an important part of our journey of personal growth. There are a couple of ways you can approach personal growth. I come from a compassion based approach. I often saw out in the world personal growth and development and behavior change and all the reasons that we hire coaches or want to learn something better. I often saw it done with a whip and with shame, blame, and guilt. And this is a shame, blame, and guilt free zone. I come from a space of personal growth with compassion. And not only does that feel better and softer, but it's also strategically better for long term intrinsic change. The other piece that I cannot leave off the table is that I am late diagnosed autistic and ADHD. I'm a human who has spent 50 years of her life not realizing that I was neurodivergent. That has radically shifted the way that I be in the world. It's actually part of my midlife journey. While I don't consider myself an expert on neurodiversity, I am learning, and I am learning about what it means for me to be autistic and to be ADHD and what my needs are outside of me. And often that interplays with the inner and outer work we do to create the life and work of our dreams. So it can't not come into the conversation. And I'm sharing some of my journey out loud because it is helping my clients who are also realizing that they're often late diagnosed as well. In leadership circles for many years, I have been known as a no bullshit coach. One of the things that has, since I was a little girl, just really grated me in the wrong ways is these impossible standards set by leadership or institutions or parenting or educators, and no room for imperfection. One of the things that I've always done and been known for was my own authenticity. And that was before authenticity was used to manipulate people. But I verbally process out loud and I share a lot of my behind the scenes journey, not all of it, but a lot of it in service of helping you, the human on the other side of this, realize that your experience of what's going on inside of you is actually not that different. Most of leadership and most coaches and most teachers and trainers and people who are out here are not showing the sometimes difficult and confusing, messy middle. I believe in transparent leadership. I have over 20 years of paid coaching experience. I have been self-employed for over 21 years, and I have been in the leadership, teaching, training, education world for 35 years. I call myself like I'm not somebody who would wear pantyhose. And I don't just mean that about fashion. I mean that about the constriction. And when I talk about humaning, I'm talking about the artificial ways that the world is constantly trying to shove us into performative plastic or airbrushing like pantyhose does and sucking it all in. And A, that is freaking uncomfortable. And B, it's not sustainable. It is the antithesis of authenticity. I am a former hardcore sales and business coach. That's how I got into coaching. I have this unique special interest in business and marketing and built helping other self-employed small business owners build their small businesses. I know the old ways. I know the traditional ways. I know the sales skills. I know the marketing skills. And one of the things that is important to me is to help myself and my clients figure out ways of doing external strategy in ways that feel in alignment with you. These days, I work from an internal family systems and compassionate inquiry model. I'm a level 1 trained IFS coach, and I've also been trained in compassionate inquiry and expressive arts facilitation. Internal family systems and compassionate inquiry and expressive arts facilitation changed the way that I work with my clients. It changed the way I run my business. It changed the perception of how I move in the world. And it combined the permission to have a human experience with strategy. I am a head-led human being unconsciously. My childhood stuff led me to be a human being that used overachieving, intellect, people pleasing, and performance as a primary coping mechanism. And those of us who use that as coping mechanisms to be accepted and belonged in the world, we're in a tricky spot because our coping mechanisms are adored and lauded by the world, but they often end up crushing us inside. And I have spent a lot of the last 8 to 10 years learning how to connect my head to my body and to my breath and to my being and to my parts, and learning how to integrate. I've always had the aspirations of having an open heart. Saying that and talking about it is very different from being so trusting that we are able to open our hearts, that we are able to be unarmored. I really get people who use intellect and thinking and need to understand why things happen. I love to go into the why and the science of how things work. And these days, I often help my clients as they unravel those old coping mechanisms. I help them build the skills of being with difficult emotions and being with discomfort so that they can be more connected instead of disassociated. In life and work, I call this connected living, authentic being. The natural result of that is creative doing. The final thing I want to share with you all is this concept that I have of remembering and forgetting. And I often write the word remember who you be. And what I mean when I say that, and what you'll find on this channel, is I will be sharing myself and parts of me and stories of me and of my clients, and sometimes teaching, whatever it is always to point you back to who you really are. Not so much that what I say you'll necessarily agree or disagree with, but what I'm trusting as I share from a connected place with you is that you will see glimmers of your own true self in you. Maybe you'll learn something new, but we live in a world that is consciously trying to get us to forget. Most of the world's systems and structures do not benefit from you remembering who you really are and trusting yourself. But I'm here to help you do that. And that is what my channel is for. I want to thank you for spending time and being here on my channel. If you'd like to subscribe, if it zings with you, if it doesn't zing with you, enjoy the next video that you see on your feed. Yeah. Thanks for being with me as we human and figure out how to do this human thing during midlife all the way to the wild edges.